Do we have a stream? Oh. We are live, it says. The stream. Yep. Okay. Alright, well we'll just leave things there for the moment. Unless you want to start now.
No, we'll leave it there till 8. I just got a few things to do.
Okay. I'll mute you then.
All good.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see, that's weird. I can't see you on the Skype, but I can see you.
No, because
stream.
Twitch doesn't like me having the webcam used for Twitch and Skype. I don't know why. Yeah.
No, I don't. I know that. But you can use your Skype and then screen cap your.
I tried that, but
thing.
as I said, this version of OBS is a multi-platform edition, and I'm just getting used
that's
to it.
weird.
So yeah, it is a bit odd.
That's weird.
All right, so
Just
we are
three.
actually live.
We are. We're
Indeed.
live. We're wicked. Hey, Shimmykins, how you doing?
How's it going? I can't keep an eye on chat, so
Yeah, I'm going to have it right next. So if anyone asks us any questions or anything,
that's cool.
I'll jump on there.
Sweet.
I'll say hi to them. I stream.
Hello. So this is Hardware Diversity Discussion. It is the weekly talk show that I haven't done for a couple of weeks, but hey, we'll get back into things. I have a guest on today. It is Theo Martin, who is works for Aspect of Gaming. The logo down in the corner right there.
Oh, cool.
Don't support these guys. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll get into a little bit of news and things.
Yeah, cool. So I'm Snowy Padre. I do my own Twitchy stuff as well and YouTube things. But as Kazman mentioned just then, I collaboratively run with several people Aspect of Gaming in New Zealand, which is a sort of a video game community, for lack of a better term, that does video game events and things like that. So viewing parties and tournaments, anything that we can think of that'll help unite the gaming community. Basically, we try to do it. And I'm also the community manager for Leaping Tiger as well, which is a location-based friend-finding app for gamers. So if you're looking for a mate to game with, or if you're playing a game, none of your friends are playing it, or you want a new raid team for Destiny or something like that, jump on Leaping Tiger and you can probably find someone in your area that's playing. It'll be sweet. That's a little bit about me.
Yeah, he is kind of famous now. He's got an IGN article written about his company. So
famous.
Mind blown. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely. So, like, any recent kind of things that are happening or things happening in the near future about what you're doing and stuff like that to start off with?
Yeah, recent news and things. So I'll start off with Leaping Tiger. Yeah, so IGN just released an article on us, and we actually got tons and tons and tons of users. We basically doubled our user base overnight. It was pretty crazy. So we're starting to get a load of messages flooding in from that, and dealing with that's interesting. User base is growing. We're getting a whole lot of new features coming in as well. So recently we got the offline player features things coming in, which means that if you check into a game and there's nobody around who's checked in at the same time, you can see who used to be checked in, who was checked in a couple of days ago, and then play along with that. Hi, we just got people coming in the background. That's Amy. I'm on a podcast. I'm on a podcast with Kazman. And the Tiger Tribe is launching soon as well. So launching, we've got a few members as part of the Tiger Tribe, which is sort of an ambassador program kind of thing. And they're working with us to grow the user base and make a really friendly community over at Leaping Tiger. On the Aspect of Gaming side, we've got a load of events coming up, and it's driving me a little bit crazy. So the first thing is we got loads of new members. So we grew from about 15 dedicated gamers in Aspect of Gaming to about 35, 40, 50 in the last couple of months. And that's just, we went on a massive recruiting drive just saying we want as much help as we can get, and we want to give back to the community as much as we can. So that was that. The next thing coming up, I think, is League of Legends Season 5. We've got a viewing party going on for Auckland and Wellington. We just released the Facebook pages for those. So if you are keen on League of Legends and you're in Auckland or Wellington, go to our Facebook page, check those out. We're also working on a Heroes of the Storm tournament because there's no scene for it here yet in New Zealand. That'll be wicked to see. Armageddon Hearthstone. So we're partnering with Armageddon to do a bunch of things. Two things to be like, bunch of things. Bunch of things means two. The first thing is a Hearthstone tournament, or just a fun play arena kind of tournament thing in the main hall. And we're going to do that for 2 hours on the Saturday. And I can't give much detail because we don't actually know too much about what we'll be doing. We're planning it right now. We're in the planning stages. We know there's going to be a tournament. We know there's going to be a lot of community involvement. We know there's going to be giveaways. But that's about it. We're going to be working on that over the next couple of months. And the same with the Armageddon streaming panel. So we're doing this is the big thing that's really exciting me, the Armageddon streaming panel. So we're going to gather some of the biggest streamers, some of the biggest Twitch streamers in New Zealand, who are the most active and most focused Twitch streamers in New Zealand. 5 of them to come up on stage and chat to everyone about their lives as a Twitch streamer, what they're doing, and how they got there, and just to sort of have a fun chat with the community in general. It's going to be pretty cool. And that's a little look at Leaping Tiger and Aspect of Gaming for me.
Yes, that's very exciting, very big stuff going on for you.
Jordan, Amy in the background,
Yes, it is.
chilling out. Hey guys.
Yeah. Me, well, we are actually running a Dota League high school competition in Dunedin.
Wicked.
I don't know if you know anything about that, but yeah, it's just a new initiative with the OUSA Gamers Club down there, and we just thought that might be a cool thing to do. Computer stuff, well, I don't know, we'll get onto that a bit later, but lots and lots of configuration changes there because it's been an absolute pain in the butt. But we'll...
Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just drivers and power supplies, who knows at this point, but we've got a working computer at the moment, so that's all that matters.
Sweet.
That's all good. Alright, so shall we get on to our first topic?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, alright, so I'll get Chrome back up on OBS. So...
Yeah.
Intel Skylake.
Intel.
That's a big news for the week. Basically, they released their Z170 chipset, which is based on socket 1151, up from 1150. I know you need a new processor for the motherboard because Intel.
Yeah, different socket. Yeah.
They're wanting DDR4 RAM as well, so that's the new high-speed stuff that's been coming out.
Oh wow!
X99 chipset, which came out last year.
That's pretty cool. So the motherboards aren't even DDR3 compatible, or
yeah, there is. They're kind of doing what happened back in the late Intel Core 2 Duo days, where it was DDR2 and DDR3 compatible. Only certain motherboards are compatible with DDR3 at this point, but I think they're mainly wanting to push DDR4 to the mainstream, which is good stuff.
Forcing everyone to upgrade.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm still running DDR3. I don't think I'll be.
And just a quick shout out. Hi Iguana. Thanks for joining in the chat.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, thanks for the viewers. It's all good stuff. Yeah, because I'm running two monitors. I've got Chrome open on one other, and I've got OBS open on the other, so I can't keep an eye on chat at the same time. But thanks for the views. So yeah, they've got native support for USB 3.1, so it's 10 gigabits transfer speed through USB, which is nice. And they've still only got 20 lanes of PCI Express, so SLI is only limited to two-way, which is kind of, I'm a bit of a mixed bag about that because it hasn't been fully saturated yet, but hopefully they'll finally buck up and actually give us more lanes for more graphics cards, more SSDs and stuff like that. Other than that, the chipset hasn't really changed much. They've just the Southbridge, which is still not integrated yet, is running PCI Express Gen 3 instead of Gen 2. So of course you've got the native M2 support for the storage and more SATA ports and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's a fairly mainstream kind of platform. On the CPU side, which is we've got an article from Tom's Hardware here about that. Basically, they've shrunk down to 14 nanometers instead of 22, which was on Haswell. They've been stuck on 22 for quite a while now.
Cool.
So that's really small. They normally with the die shrink, what they normally did, this is why they're in the TikTok, is because basically when they do a die shrink, they decrease the power requirements that they do to the CPU, because obviously the transistors are smaller and have less resistance to actually work, kind of thing. But they've actually upgraded their power package because they're wanting to get more performance out of these smaller transistors and stuff, and they added more transistors. They've upgraded their integrated graphics to actually be a decent integrated graphics package right now. So you can actually game on Intel HD graphics if you want, but I don't see any reason to.
Yeah, there's never a reason to.
So they've had 14 nanometers since their Broadwell processors, which were still Haswell compatible, but they weren't you couldn't really buy them. Skylake is the first true 14 nanometer stuff that's become broadly accepted. They are very expensive. The i7 6700K is about $550. And the i5 is probably around $350, $400. I'm not exactly sure. They've just released here, so they're pretty new. But they're a lot more expensive than Haswell stuff, which came out about $400 to about $300 for the i5 and the i7. So that you are asking quite a big asking price, and also considering the low-end X99 processors and chipset are about $550 for the 6-core. which has quad-channel RAM, heaps of PCI Express lanes and all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a trade-off whether you go the low-end Extreme Edition or you go the high-end on the mainstream Z170 platform. So there's a bit of a debacle about that. Hopefully there's a price drop. We'll see what happens for that. So, yeah, any thoughts on that in terms of you wanting a new computer?
Hell, I'd love a new computer. My only thoughts on that actually is I'm really sad to see the 1150 go, because that's when I was building all my PCs and getting really into PC building was at the height of the 1150, and it's been going for a while. Just looking, I checked out the video that you were talking about and in the article as well, and just all of the K series of any Intel chips do really, really well, and they're great for overclocking. From what I know anyway, I'm not an expert. But yeah, so I'm actually excited about this change and excited to see it move forward. I'm surprised it hadn't earlier, but that 1150 has stuck there for quite a while.
Yeah, because that started off in 2011 or 2012, I think. And then they obviously had the Z97 stuff, which was the refresh of Haswell, which I, jumped on a little bit late. But so it's definitely a new direction for them, and we'll see how it progresses forward and how long it takes them for the next die shrink, which you never know where that can be. But yeah, that's all that stuff for there. So we will move on to Windows 10.
Windows 10. Oh, I still haven't upgraded any of my machines, by the way.
No,
I'm still waiting it out.
Yeah, I haven't upgraded Windows 10 myself because I've been holding off because of drivers, actually. Because of these. Yeah. So, the main thing that's been going on for the last while is privacy concerns, because people think, oh no, Microsoft's wanting all my information and cloud stuff and all that shenanigans and stuff like that. And it is true to an extent. They, Cortana and their search and their Microsoft account stuff is, wanting to send all your information. Supposedly also there's rumours surrounding a unique advertising ID that's tied to your machine.
Oh, yeah.
So basically they can cater your ads and stuff that they send you directly to your Microsoft account through your machine ID. So basically, that can tailor that a bit further. So obviously that can send information out to you. But there's been a thing that supposedly has happened called God Mode. Basically you can actually unlock it by some certain instructions on the CNET article. And what it can do is you can turn off certain features within the Microsoft, plethora of settings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can actually deactivate some of these tracking tools and all these advertising tools and stuff like that. And supposedly it seems to be working, because otherwise it wouldn't be so widely publicised. But despite all that, we'll move on to the next wee bit there, is supposedly it's still wanting your information, despite turning off your things. Now, there was a bit of a debacle about this a while back with LG and Samsung TVs, smart TVs. Basically, they were actually keeping their microphone on their TV and recording your conversations.
Oh, that's a bit creepy.
Yeah, and basically, even if you turn the setting off, somebody did a test through their router to see if there's any packets being sent through from your TV, and there was, even though you turned the thing on. So, I mean, that kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And also the built-in keylogger that was in the Windows 10 preview. Supposedly there was one of those as well, so it tracks what you're typing on your keyboard and stuff like that, which kind of is a bit creepy too. But supposedly this independent UK article was saying that it does want your information, but they're saying most of it is harmless. Like, it's not actually anything too invasive as what they were doing by default.
Yeah.
So you can turn the stuff off. I'm glad that they've kind of stepped back on that, because otherwise... basically Microsoft has turned into Google.
Yeah.
And Ars Technica did some stuff on that too, about turning things off and doing testing and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they switched that back and said, okay, you can do stuff to say, no, we don't want to opt into all your gathering of everybody's Skynet stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what are your thoughts on privacy these days in terms of online stuff?
Well, I've never been too hung up on privacy, to be honest, but my privacy's never been breached in a way that it's been, used against my will to do something weird. So I don't have that experience, and I don't have that fear of that experience ever happening. I think data is really powerful, and there's a lot of powerful things you can do with it, and I don't think it's the right kind of policy to be like, let's hide all our data and it's be all secret and stuff. There's a lot of benefit that comes to data, to creating better systems and better things for you to use, better things for you to buy, better things for you to experience in life. But there does come an extent. It's sort of like what they're using your data for. Like it should only to an extent be used for things like product development or statistics to prove certain elements, but nothing to manipulate you in any kind of way. But I guess behind the scenes that probably is what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has kind of just been so kind of used to Google, because everybody uses Google services.
Yeah.
And I think, everybody knows, I think, to an extent, what's actually going on, because they're offering you a service for nothing. So they've got to make money somehow, and I guess that's probably your information is what they're making money on. And I guess people Google does provide a good service. Chrome's great, Gmail's great, Android's great. And it's just kind of one of those things that, if other people are doing it now because people are aware of it, people get a bit hung up and go, steer away from it a bit. And I guess it's true, but it's just a bit of a mindset thing about what they're actually doing and how they're going to use it and stuff like that, which we'll never know.
Yeah.
So I guess it's one, we'll see what happens, I guess. We'll move on to gaming. Gaming is your specialty, and gaming is what you do.
Yeah. specialty game. I'm really non-competitive. I'm at that point in gaming where I can basically play any game, and be it the baseline, be it the high-tiered silver of any game. If you could rank any game, be it the high-tiered silver of any game, but I can't get more competitive than that. I just even if I sink time into the game, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that a while back with World of Tanks, and when I first started playing it, and I was like, yeah, let's actually get good at this and stuff, and I was like, I just sucked. I just can't actually, I steer away from a lot of competitive games, because of you jump into it, and you get to the point where everybody else is just so much better than you, that matchmaking is not even relevant, really. And it's you want to play, but yeah, I don't know. Another topic for another show, whether I get you back or not.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. So Star Wars Battlefront 3. EA's taken over that helm. Since after Battlefront 2, I think, because obviously Disney got rights to Star Wars and stuff. So it's going to be online only.
Online only.
Single player campaign is not going to be prevalent in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
So there's no offline bot play at all?
Rumors say no.
Rumors say no. Yeah, I kind of would expect that from a game today, to be honest.
Yeah, you aren't because Battlefront 2 and obviously the original one had a campaign as well. And I guess back then, everybody was playing on console and PC, because Battlefront 2 is from 2005, for crying out loud. Everyone's on console and everyone wants to play a campaign, but I would have liked to have seen a campaign. I think an online one, or a bit of an MMO style, perhaps, or something. Yeah,
but I think they could have tied it in really well to the transition between episode 6 and 7.
Because the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also a hell of a lot of not fan fiction, but non-canon and canon literature and all of that kind of stuff. They could have done a lot of different mini stories. They probably wouldn't have taken that much effort, but at the end of the day, they're sinking more time and resources into the multiplayer experience, trying to make that really amazing. But when you look at it, there's not that much content to get sunk into, and I'm actually kind of terrified it's going to become another Evolve and have a lot of purchasable things on day one that you and then you burn through all the content and you get past it, and then you have to jump into DLC and all that other stuff just to get through content. If you don't have at least 5 hours of just regular content to play with in the multiplayer, then you haven't done it right, because you haven't got a single player campaign, and it's I'm terrified that they're sinking a lot of the money from that single player campaign turn away into a marketing budget, because they're terrified people are going to think they're doing a bad job, but they will be doing a bad job if they don't sink all their money into development.
Yeah, because there's a whole lot of stuff floating around, like when the game was announced, about like we can't fly ships, there's going to be no space maps, and there's going to be very limited maps and things. It's just like kind of like if those rumors are true, you know, I was really excited for the game, and I thought, yes, a brand new Star Wars game is going to look amazing, and it does look amazing, but how much content is there going to be?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm really worried about with that, because I was going to pre-order. I was very close to clicking the pre-order button. I was like, you know, I've thought about it for a while, and I was like, nah. After that, that's kind of, and same with Need for Speed as well, because I mean, kind of is on a similar boat with that, because I thought, you know, Need for Speed, PC racing games are lacking so hard. Like, there's no good ones out there at the moment, and I thought Need for Speed might change that, but. Yeah, once again, you just don't know, and it's kind of hard to judge at this stage because they're about 6 months away, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on to Mad Max. I don't actually have a website for this. I did see something a while back about it, and I just thought maybe you might be interested in knowing, because it's going to it's going to be an open world, I think.
Mm-hmm. Open world kind of racing shooter. It's sort of like GTA, more focused on cars and in an apocalyptic wasteland in a way. But the combat is very Batman centric, Batman Arkham series centric.
Oh, same developers?
No. Just the combat system is very similar to Arkham.
Oh, okay, that sounds quite cool. So you can actually roam around and do like open worldy kind of stuff.
Yeah. So open world, you can like customize your car and build it to look really, really awesome and do tons of damage and be really cool. And there's I don't think there is an element of combat and stuff like that. There's a Wikipedia thing from Josh. Video game. I love it. But yeah, so it's open world. You can customize your car and thing. There isn't much of an emphasis, I think, on the ground, feet on the ground kind of combat style stuff, but there will be a bunch of that in the game, but the focus is going to be on those car battles and making those car battles really cool. I'm terrified that's going to make it kind of like another Rage, which didn't do really well. Rage by id Software, if you heard of that one.
I've heard it. That's like that really wastelandy kind of shooting up kind of game. Yeah,
and it was a hell of a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, the car mechanics just weren't as good as the running and gunning kind of fun play that you just do in Rage. Yeah, it was basically focused around your car and getting from point to point with your car and having car battles in between these short sections of shooting, running and gunning kind of stuff. When will they make an Inside Out game? Disney, why? That's okay, Iguana. They one day, inside your face. When they've governed VR and they start going inside the body, that's going to be creepy. But yeah, it does look like a hell of a lot of fun. I'm actually really excited to see where the Mad Max game goes and what it means in particular for movie franchise games, because it's one of those games that isn't a movie tie-in, and those tend to do quite well because they've got their own vision. They're not constrained by the movie vision. They're just constrained by the world, which is pretty expansive in almost any mythology, any creation. The world's always expansive, but it's whether or not restricted to a certain set and time and a certain aesthetic and certain characters. So they've got a lot of openness to work with. And I think they're doing really well in terms of the gameplay and stuff like that. I don't know what the story is going to be like or how it's going to progress. It could be as fantastic as Skyrim, but it could be as dull as I don't want to say Rage. Rage wasn't really dull world-wise. It was just a bit short and flat.
Gameplay wise.
But yeah, I'm just worried that the story is going to fall a little bit short.
Yeah, because I think like you go around and do stuff and like have a real big action fights and things, but whether it actually has substance that way, I'm a bit worried about myself, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm just reading the comments. They're talking about the Inside Out game some more. You running around killing your emotions.
Oh wow!
Game style like hatred. That sounds hilarious. I'd play that.
Yeah, totally.
Especially if it was all fluffy. You've got Pyrovision from TF2. That'd be fun.
Yeah, like running around in VR, like you're roaming around like veins and like your nervous system and stuff. I was like, yeah. I just watched an episode of Doctor Who actually where they were going inside the Dalek's brain the other day. I thought I thought that might be quite interesting too, actually.
I think that I remember that. That was episode 2 of the Capaldi series, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
He's doing great. Yeah, I need to catch up with that.
Yeah, that series is finished, isn't it? I think there might be a new Doctor soon, perhaps.
Oh wow! That's why he's been taking all his interviews and stuff. Now I see what's going on.
Yeah. So you actually asked me a couple of days ago, well, not a couple of days ago, like when I actually asked you to join the show,
Yeah.
talking about VR.
A little bit about VR, yeah.
VR.
Just from like general reviews, like I don't have a lot to say on it, but I do have a little bit to say that I think is very important that I think people need to hear and they need to think about, because people put on these game systems and they're like, it's a hell of a lot of fun. VR's great, sure, it's fantastic, but at the same time, where are you going to fit this in your living room if you've got an Omni trackpad that you're running around on, and you've got, arm systems, things that are attached to your whole body, and then you've got the headgear? You look like an idiot, but at the same time, you've got nowhere to put all of this gear unless you've got a massive house.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it's going to work from a consumer level, but the one way that I thought it could work, which a lot of people actually, I've gotten this idea off a lot of people, is creating a virtual reality arcade where you go to an arcade like a Time Zone or whatever, and they've got those virtual reality sort of rooms and pods and things set up. That could work really well. And there's something that I saw. Sorry, I just cut you again. Something that I saw in Melbourne, they're opening up a virtual reality hall. Like they've rented out. It's as if you're playing Laser Force. If you've been to a Laser Force arena.
Yes, I have been. Yep.
Yeah. And it's literally just a big empty hall. People put on VR headsets and they walk around in this hall fighting zombies and things together. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. I think I may have seen that article at some point. I was actually going to put that in the document, but I thought this might have been a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I heard something about a VR laser tag system thing. I thought that would have been pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I didn't know it was in Australia, though. That's pretty...
Yeah, it's in Melbourne. I've got to go visit my girlfriend. That's the reason to go visit my girlfriend.
Yes.
Play with the VR space.
Yeah. So this is Project Morpheus. This is Sony's own VR system. Designed for the PS4, supposedly. They said in the big tagline thing, "We are waiting for the game titles to catch up with the hardware." I am kind of baffled by that, because I don't know about you, but the PS4 is not that powerful for a computer, and like whether they can actually run a VR system, because they released the minimum specs for the Oculus Consumer Edition a while back, and you require a minimum of an R9 290 or a GTX 980 to run it, and that's quite a big, beefy, hefty system.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, would the PS4 be able to run that? Like,
be able to run just VR tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. The VR tech has progressed quite a lot since then, and it's working on my old Rust bucket, so I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work with the PS4. To be honest, the PS4 is probably stronger than what I've got down here under my desk, but I think that's interesting. But again, it's I think it works better with consoles than it would with PC. Not from a hardware perspective. I don't know anything about that, but from a space perspective, like having that headset on and being able to sit on your couch and experience VR is sort of better than being at your computer. And even when I was using the VR headset, I've got myself an Oculus from the Overtime guys. Really cool. It's advised that you're like 1.5 meters away from the viewing lens. And when you're sitting at a computer, you're never going to be 1.5 meters away from your PC. I'm probably 0.5 meters away from my PC at the moment. Being 1.5, I wouldn't be able to play with the mouse and keyboard. You just can't reach anything. So with a controller in your hand, from a comfortability perspective, it's a lot better on console. I think it'll be a greater experience.
Yeah, they are saying it's due for release in 2016, and there's 32 games approximately being confirmed.
Wow. Wow, such a library, so big.
Yeah,
no,
and they
really.
said it may cost upwards of $300. This is probably US, I'd imagine.
Yeah, $300 is to be expected, to be honest. Covering that much R&D is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a post from PSU.com and a recent post via Reddit, supposedly.
Oh, hi Dave Docs. Yes, this is live.
We are live. We're not in streamception. Yeah.
So Dave, going to.
Yeah.
And welcome, Dave, by the way.
Is this one of your people, is it?
No, it's just a person.
Just a random. Okay.
Just a wicked dude that dropped by.
Sounds good. I enjoy the people.
Yeah.
So
what's your thoughts on Project Morpheus? Yeah.
My thoughts, console VR. I mean, I really didn't picture it because Samsung wanted to do something as well with their phones, and I was like, whoa, that's going probably a little bit far.
Yeah.
But like console stuff, I mean, your suggestion about your idea with opening like a VR hall or a VR like games club thing, I think for the cost perspective and things, I think a console will probably be better in terms of that. And
Yeah.
I think like I think there'd be more exclusives that are not like specifically for VR on console. Because I mean, I think because the vastness of the PC library would probably get too swamped down at this point for VR games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and I think being able to have that and being able to have like titles at launch fully compatible with this system, I think would probably make it quite a win, actually. I mean, yes, it's going to be expensive. Yes, it's going to be for a wee niche market initially, but I think I reckon Sony's going to do something good with that. Because I haven't used any VR stuff. I didn't even use the Armageddon, not this year, but last year they had a DK1 Rift preview there.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to use it, but it'd be kind of interesting to see what it's like. Hopefully, please bring one down for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that'd be kind of cool to have a look. But I think it's where things are going, VR, and I hope that maybe Google Glass might do something in the future as well, that sort of thing. But we never know. It could be anything. Exactly.
Yeah, is Google Glass? No, I'm thinking of Microsoft something else.
Oh,
it was like a Minecraft.
Yeah, the HoloLens.
Yeah, HoloLens. Yeah,
That's the one. Yeah, they had like a real creepy, like 3D hologram stuff around the room. I was like, whoa, that's kind of like, that's really ambitious. Actually, I did see an article on that recently, but they said there's going to have no release date yet. It could be years and years away. But definitely exciting stuff, nonetheless. So we're on to our last topic, which is science and tech. We're going to talk about drones for a wee bit.
Ooh.
What is your thoughts on drones?
This is going to be the real topics where I fall short. So drones are cool. The biggest thing that excites me about drones is hands-free video camera filming kind of stuff. Which I think is really, really cool. I think it cheapens a lot of video production development for a lot of companies, for especially movie development. I don't know how useful drones are, but I think they're more practical than a giant crane, looming over a movie set. Yeah. And at the same time, when you look at esports events, they have all those cranes moving around as well. But instead, if you just had a couple of drones flying around, that'd be really cool. And it adds to the atmosphere as well. You got all these little things flying around. It's very cool. But at the same time, we could probably get really sick of them, these little humming things all above us. But the applications, there are a hell of a lot of interesting ways that you could apply drones. Like when Amazon, it didn't work, but Amazon delivery drones, they were cool. That was a really cool idea. But I loved even more the idea of them being care packages. There were a lot of Call of Duty players when they were like, care packages, shoot them down out of the sky. What am I going to get? Yeah. That was pretty disastrous, but cool ideas, yeah.
Yeah, the delivery drones are still working in America. They still actually deliver certain size packages, I think.
Oh, wow.
So, like, because I was actually kind of coinciding with this, I watched a thing on the news the other day about robots and taking over our jobs and that sort of thing, and I was like, they said supposedly Amazon drones are actually kind of working. But on this article from Engadget, this is a drone that can steal data while hovering above your office.
Oh crap!
So basically, somebody actually made this drone to basically steal all your wireless signals and things coming up from your internet and your Bluetooth and stuff like that. And it says this has got it's a $2,500 price tag for something like this, but it's actually running a version of Linux that's designed to basically hack wireless signals and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's kind of scary.
I want to say it's cool, but it's more scary than cool.
Because I watched another kind of show, like Tech Syndicate did an article on this drone that somebody made that shoots a gun. A flying drone that can shoot a gun. Like, people made it from their home. They didn't buy it. They did it themselves. It required little stuff.
Trust people to do these things.
Yeah, I know. It's kind
Trust humans.
Face palm. But yeah, I thought that's kind of, drones are advancing a lot quicker than we probably think, actually, in terms of that kind of stuff. And I just wonder about, talking about that article that was on the news about, are we prepared for, like, how quickly it's going to, like, do what we want it to do.
Yeah, true. As long as we're a step closer to Baymax, I'm happy.
Baymax?
Baymax. Big Hero 6.
I haven't seen the film.
Oh, dang, you really need to. It's a fantastic film.
What's that about? Like, what's that?
It's like a whole bunch of kids who, I say kids, university people, whole bunch of kids who make suits and superhero suits and things that can make them control certain things and do certain things. Like one of them has laser beams on his hands, and the whole story revolves around this very kid-friendly story. Whole story revolves around this robot that the main character's brother built. That's sort of like a robotic nanny, a robotic nurse. Not a nanny, robotic nurse. Robotic Chansey, if you will. It's just a big, fat, kind of smushy, marshmallowy thing that diagnoses people's illnesses and problems and whatever. Even psychological ones, come to think of it. It's really funny. But halfway through the film, the kid kind of turns him into this sort of lean, mean fighting machine thing, and fits him with armor and stuff like that. And it gets really cool. But yeah, Baymax. I'd love to see a Baymax, but at the same time, I wouldn't like to see Baymax turn bad. So
yeah, because there's been cars and like smart cars and driverless cars being hacked and all that kind of stuff at the moment, and I was like, it's one of those everlasting wars, though. Like, I mean, if there's security, people are going to find a way to get through it, and it's like, I mean, you've got to. I don't know how you're going to stop that sort of thing, and it's going to require a lot of kind of like regulation, a lot of like finding these people and things like that. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, the next few years for this kind of like robots and drones and things like that, it's gonna be really fast and really kind of like, wow, like, what have we actually done here? But I hope we don't regret our decisions with this technology, but you never know. You never know.
You never do know.
You never do know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only real issue is with AI, isn't it? Advanced AI.
Yeah, AI. Yeah, that's. Yeah. Things doing its own things without being told what to do. Yeah. Yeah,
as long as we subjugate the robots, we're fine.
Exactly.
But we're that one step closer to AI sort of rising up and scare the crap out of us. But yeah, I'm not too scared of it, to be honest. I'm only going to be scared of it when it becomes a mainstream thing where we like, you go to McDonald's and you're being served by a robot. That's going to freak me out. But when they're using it in faraway lands for like medical technology, that's great. Yeah. Robots doing medical technology, that kind of stuff is fine. But mainstream robotics is going to freak me out, and that's where it's going to really hit home, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're a while away from that yet, but yeah, I think driverless cars kind of creep me out as well, because no control, and there's quite an interesting thing about like making decisions, like whether it kills you from crashing into a truck or whether it runs somebody over, like on a bike or something like that, because it's got to pick something. Whether you got to turn because somebody else is coming towards you or something like that. When it kills you, it kills somebody else. It's kind of like, how do you kind of make a moral decision around that sort of thing? But yeah, it's going to be interesting, definitely interesting. This is something that you're probably not too knowledgeable about, perhaps.
I was looking at it. It is a spy. It sounds really cool, though.
AT&T, one of the big tele carriers in the US, basically helped the NSA, which is their data intelligence, national security organization, I think. Helped spy on the UN's data traffic, to see what they're up to. There's been a whole lot of stuff about the NSA. I mean, obviously Snowden's the big, whistleblower around that in the last while and things like that. And I mean, he's obviously been good about releasing his stuff to an appropriate audience and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But supposedly in 2003, basically the AT&T was sending their email traffic to the NSA, unencrypted. So that's all good stuff. I mean, everybody needs that kind of stuff being sent about without anybody knowing.
Oh yeah.
But supposedly the NSA has made a statement saying that they weren't being transparent enough with their obligations and stuff like that. But who knows? The American government is kind of a bit iffy with that sort of stuff at the moment. So
Yeah.
and obviously the GCSB here and Kim.com and all that kind of stuff been going on and things like that. So I don't know. It's kind of going back to Windows 10, really, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah. Everybody's stealing data. We're just turning into that society where data is just completely and utterly free. And is that going to endanger us, or is it? But the interesting thing about that is that cyber law is becoming far more prevalent. There's a lot more lockdown on what people can and cannot do online, and what constitutes a crime and that sort of thing. So I think once we nail that in every single major country in the world that has to deal with this kind of stuff, we'll be doing a lot better, and information security doesn't become such a big problem.
Because I mean, I think like there's whole papers in the degree focused on security.
Yeah. Hey, Nindens. How you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, definitely. We appreciate the viewers on the interwebs. But yes, everything. There's a whole. You can be like a computer security person. Because I mean, that's how big of an issue has been. And I just think like, once you get that sorted, I think we'd be much better off. Everybody would be much better off. But as I said, it's going to require a lot of work, and whether people are actually willing to actually put in the work and not be persuaded by these big companies that want to get all your information and stuff like that is another question for another day. Indeed. So our last topic. I don't know if there's anything else you want to interject later on or something like that.
No, not at all. But digital pens.
Digital pens. Yeah, I was a bit confused when I saw this, but supposedly they've got this software now that can actually detect how you write and how you see things, and I guess I mean, you can't ask somebody how you see something because they may see it normally, but they react to things differently. And I guess this is probably where this comes in, I guess, with saying, well, I see a clock. What does a clock look like? Okay, it's round. Well, if you don't see it round, there may be something wrong there. Maybe there's some correlation towards that. I think that's kind of cool.
That sounds really cool. I'm looking at the article now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like... I don't... Whether they're actually going to do this is another Engadget article. And it's MIT developed this, which is Massachusetts Institution of Technology. I keep screwing that up. But there's some crazy folk down at that university though. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess they could probably use any sort of tablet to do that with the software on it, I'd imagine. But that's kind of cool if you can detect what diseases and things like that, earlier on because somebody can't draw properly. I think that's and if it's accurate, why not? Indeed. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that is all for topics. Maybe we could go on a little bit longer about something. I don't know.
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, nothing. Well, I know. I normally talk far too much, but today we are keeping it a little bit short.
Yeah. Streaming plans. Do you have any streaming plans? Any regular streaming plans going forward outside of the podcast?
Well, as it says on my Twitch, I don't know if you saw it, but Sunday and Monday are going to be my regular times.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought, I've kind of wanted to correlate with other streamers that I watch when they're not streaming. So I think the weekend is good for the US folk.
Yeah, there's a lot of daytime weekday streamers, come to think of it, which is interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's
a huge market out there for that sort of thing. So I thought the weekend would be a good time. And games, well, I think I may not be streaming this Sunday, Monday, unless I get my computer back up and going properly because my GPU is way underpowered. But yeah, I think that will be the days going forward. I think I will do this show on probably the Monday, and gaming on the Sunday. But if there's any guests like yourself who come along and want to request a different day, I've got multitude of time on my hands, so I'm open most of the time. But Sunday and Monday is going to be my regular days.
Yeah, we've got a couple of viewer questions coming in. So one of them was, what's your favourite colour? What's your favourite colour?
To me,
it's an AMA now. Yeah, to anyone.
It's an AMA. All right.
AMA.
I like the blue.
He likes the blue. He's into the blue. Blue's good. Blue's good.
More the royal blue.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that kind of blue. Yep.
Royal any colour. He's sweet.
Yeah, totes.
That works out. Yeah. I'm into the greens, but also the kind of the purples. Greens, just like a good green can look really cool, but I kind of move away from it because it's all mossy and it's kind of like vomit, and you want to keep away from that kind of stuff. So it's just got too many negative connotations. So I run away from the green on a regular basis. Gold's pretty amazing.
Gold's good.
Gold's great. Yep. Red's good too, though.
Good.
I love the embodiment of red because it's both rage and passion. So I think I'm hooking around on red. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm quite situational with my colours. Like, I wouldn't paint my room black, but I like black.
Yeah.
And I like green computers are good too, but like there's very few stuff that correlates with that, and it's kind of like, well, what's out there and what you can do with the colours out there kind of thing. I wouldn't have a black car either, probably. So I mean that's that sort of thing. But yeah, blues are definitely quite versatile.
Nice.
For sure. Any other questions there?
We've got a favourite video game?
Favourite video game?
Now or ever of all time?
Ooh.
It's going to be a hard one.
That's going to be a hard one.
We'll go with now for now, because
you're Rocket League for sure.
Stuff. Rocket League for sure. Right now Rocket League is just my passion, my love, my life. It is getting a bit stale, but I can't stop playing it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, myself. I haven't played most of the games that I normally played for a while, but I'm into racing stuff more so.
Did you play the Burnout series, by the way?
Yeah, oh man.
Yeah.
Favourite arcade game of all time.
Burnout
3 Takedown.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I was definitely in Gran Turismo. That's the game I played on the PS1 when I first started. Need for Speed. I hate Need for Speed now, but the older stuff was great. I still play it on my computer today. I played San Andreas, GTA, like through the teeth. Everybody had their wee cheat book that they used to take around to people's houses on the PS2. All that kind of stuff. But favourite game at the moment? Wow. I'm in love with Star Wars Battlefront 2, but that's because I enjoy playing it. I don't think it's a particularly good game, but I just love it. Because I used to play that on the PlayStation as well, and I just finally knowing that I can actually get it and playing it online on the PC is great. But anything else there?
So that was favourite video game. They then asked us what game got you into gaming. So mine there, it's sort of a tie between. Oh no! I think I do know. I never actually give this answer, but it just came to me now. Is one of the first Prince of Persia games actually. Back when we had floppy disks, and it was amazing. And those things did not break, but discs these days they get scratches. No. They don't. No. Yeah. I don't know anything about floppy disks, but yeah, my dad came home with an IBM laptop early on in the piece of gaming in general. No, not early on in gaming. Early on in floppy disk gaming anyway, and we got Prince of Persia, and that was sort of my introduction to gaming. A little bit later. After that, we got Hocus Pocus, if anybody knows that game. That was on floppy disk as well, which is, but all of these were 2D side-scrolling, jumping kind of things. And the Prince of Persia one was sort of like frame by frame, you have to figure out this room and jump through it and do things.
Yeah,
can't
that's
remember
pretty
that.
cool.
But Hocus Pocus was like your character moves around and the screen follows him and he can jump and fire lightning bolts and stuff. It was mind blowing.
So it's kind of like, was it kind of like what's that game? Wolfenstein.
It certainly wasn't. No. It wasn't. It wasn't 3D. So that Wolfenstein was technically first person shooter. I'm talking about like side scrolling, jumping, platforming kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's For me, when we had our Windows 95 and Windows 98 kind of computer in the office, I played Microsoft Fury 3. I don't know if you've ever played that.
Is that the flight?
The flight game. Yeah. I used to play that heaps. That was
pretty incredible. The graphics in that scared me, just because of the 3D stuff, and you're like floating around this weird world. Yeah,
it was really hard to control.
It was really hard. Cool game.
Yeah, definitely. I've still got that on disc. I might try and boot it up again one day. But other than that, Gran Turismo 1, that was great. Really good fun game. Definitely.
It's one of those races. Nancy asks, Carsman50, how did you get your username? It's because Ladiesman50 was taken.
Carsman50. Well, that actually carried on for my Gmail, because I had to create a Gmail.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, I tried, the good old classic Brett Taggart at gmail.com.
Yeah.
But that was taken. And I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? And I was like, I like cars. I'm a man. And 50 just came to mind because I was going to put 13, but I was like, nah, because 13 is my favourite number.
Yeah.
And I was like, 50. I was like, okay, because it suggested, I think I was signing up for a game at the time, and I think I was trying to do Carsman something.
Yeah.
And it came up with 50 as one of the recommendations. I was like, okay, we'll take 50, and everything else
50's
from them.
It's higher than 13, so it's better.
Yeah, it is, exactly. Yeah, 50 is just spot on stuff right there. So yeah, that's kind of how Carsman 50 came around. I may change my name to Hardware Diversity on Twitch, just to kind of correlate everything together on there. But then people won't know who I am. So I'm wondering how I'm going to kind of do that. So that will be a future project, I think, for sure. Sorry, Padres, your icon on Twitch. So that's kind of where that came from.
Yeah, that was just my little penguin dude. That came from. The origin of the name is just really weird. We'll skip that story for another time.
Yes.
So not one of the user questions. But that one is one that I tell a lot, and it's just random Spanish gobbledygook, and I like snow. And guess what? See ya, Amy. Amy's gone. Bye bye, Amy. Stream says bye bye. We have, what's your Starbucks order?
Oh, I've only ever been to Starbucks like once.
Oh yeah.
And
so you had an order. You did have an order one time.
I did have an order, and that was a caramel frappe.
True.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
No, I can see that happening. I can see that working.
Yep, that was my order from Starbucks. Not that I go to Starbucks, but that if I go there, that's what I would get, I think. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that really loves the winter. I love the cold because I love snuggling up with something warm, like warm mug of cocoa or like fire or like snuggly clothes. Snuggly girl, my snuggly girlfriend, and good stuff. No, So I really love my warm drinks. So I love coffee, but in terms of a Starbucks drink, coffee shit there to me. I don't. So I go for sort of the hot chocolates and the French vanilla stuff with the cream and that. I go for that kind of gig. But sometimes they have these chai latte things that are really, really amazing.
Oh yeah, I've heard that those particular new modern versions of tea are quite good and stuff like that. Yeah. Yep. So it turned into AMA now. This is quite interesting.
Yeah, I think that's it for the questions that came up. Actually, we got no more questions. That's it. That's our lives.
That's our lives. Oh, it's all over.
That sounds feminine. Thanks, Josh.
It sounds feminine, yes.
I love my snuggly stuff. I don't care what you say, I'm a snuggler.
Snuggly is good.
Snuggly's great, yeah.
Definitely.
It makes you feel good inside.
It does. Yep, definitely. Yes. Actually, there's one more thing that came to mind. I don't want to take too much of your time, but 4K.
4K resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually, that was a bit of a trend on my early episodes of HGD show about asking people what they thought of 4K.
Oh yeah.
So what's your thoughts on 4K?
Like 4K. I haven't really dealt with 4K, so I don't really have that much of an opinion on it. I can't really establish one. But from where I am right now, I honestly, I'm one of those people that once it gets to sort of 1080p, and it's crisp as hell, and I can hear things fine. Like I don't really give a crap, and I don't notice a difference. It's the same. Like apparently, if you go from 480p to 1080p on YouTube, the audio changes. The audio gets a lot better. I can't detect that. To be fair, my ears are shot, so like I'm basically deaf in one ear, so I don't really notice sound differences. But it's kind of the same with resolutions for me. There's a point where it just doesn't really improve, in my opinion. It just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, 4K recording and 4K, Blu-rays and stuff are coming out now and all that kind of stuff. And, like, I mean, actually, it reminds me of, like, this website I went to, like, a while back. And basically it's got this screen size to viewing distance to resolution calculator. And basically, like, how far away from the screen at a certain resolution and a certain size do you have to be before you start noticing the difference between certain resolutions?
Yeah.
And, like, they set it 27-inch 4K, which is like a normal 4K size computer monitor. They say half a meter.
Oh, yeah.
So that you can actually, supposedly, if you've got like a 27-inch 1080p or 770-inch 1440 or 4K, you can actually supposedly just notice the difference. But, I mean, TVs and stuff, I think TV would look terrible because they're only broadcasting at 720p.
Yeah,
so imagine what 720p is going to look like on a 4K 55-inch television. It's going to look like...
Yeah.
It's going to look like crap. But like...
That is something that I noticed, actually, is that TVs have pretty crap resolution in general. I'd love to see some really high-def, massive TVs.
Or if you pop down to JB Hi-Fi and Old Learning or something, they'll probably be able to show you something there.
But,
yeah. But... Yeah, I think 1080p TVs are quite scary because I went up to like my family's house in Christchurch and like they've got a 1080p TV. I've never used one before, and like the amount of detail that like on some of these shows that they have is just like you can see like pimples on their faces and things like that. I was like, whoa, it's like it's got like
that's a bit too much.
Yeah, like these cameras and stuff. Like man, they need like Photoshop or something. But yeah, just kind of we've got like, ours is like 720p and so that's enough for like what we do. But these 50-inch TVs and stuff, it's just scary. But
yeah.
Well, I don't think we've got anything else to talk about, do we?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the podcast.
It is the podcast.
Tech podcast.
Thank you, Theo, for coming on.
Pleasure.
And I hope we can do it again.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely will start a more regular schedule for sure. So, yeah, thank you very much. And catch Snow Padre when?
Whenever. Like I'm starting to change my Twitch schedule. I think I'm going to do it every Wednesday, sort of at 7 p.m. and just get online and do one video on YouTube a week as well, based on that, or just general gaming throughout the week. But yeah, around about Wednesday, 7 p.m. New Zealand time.
Jump on the big stripy orange cat called Leaping Tiger.
Yes, and the Leaping Tiger. Always. There's no particular great time to jump on. There's always. That is the best time to jump on. Whenever you start gaming, you jump on Leaping Tiger.
You have to be New Zealander, though, for that.
What? Nah.
No?
Leaping Tiger is worldwide. Our biggest base is US, actually. Most of our users are coming from the US at the moment, yeah. Thousands upon thousands of users, all US-based.
Oh, that's a definite good piece of news.
Yeah, it's a good piece of news. It's very fun.
Well, thank you very much. I will stop streaming and catch you later on.
And thanks to all the people who have come and viewed.
Yes, definitely. We always appreciate the publicity because I don't have much, but we'll get that.